Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, as we continue with the showcase of the independents, one of my favorite independent wrestling companies, Northeast Wrestling, out of Cornwall, Hudson, New York, began in 1896. So, one of the Northeast Wrestling companies, a lot of great talent coming from that area. Some of their popular events, Wrestling Under the Stars, WrestleFest, Over the Top, Big Bethany Bash, and Heat Wave. They're champions right now. They're Northeast Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. Trevon Jordan, the Northeast Live Champion, Casey Navarro, the Northeast Tag Team Champions, one of my favorite independent tag teams, Waves and Curls, Jaden Braden, and Trevon Jordan, who's actually hurt right now. So I am hoping that he doesn't have to relinquish the title because of injury. I have a feeling he will, which is sad. One of the tag team guys went after a singles title, which is amazing. They had 154 matches for 18 shows in 2022, 134 men's, 14 women's, and 3 intergender. I'm going to run down the 22 best matches. We had so many matches that were 3.5 star. There's an additional 8 3.5 star matches that I am not going to be a part of the top 22. I wanted to do 22 best of 22, so I actually went through those 3.5 star matches and picked out some of my favorites. Some of the banger matches that were not going to be included in the top 22 was Pinto Oscuro, Jay Lethal, and Matt Taven, Waves and Curls, Brick City Boys, and let's see, was that fit a 4-way? Yeah, so it was Waves and Curls, Brick City Boys, Brett Ryling, BRG, and Channing Thomas, and Kurt and Vargas. There was an intergender match that was 3.5 stars. Sammy Guevara and Ty Conte, Ashley D'Ambrose, and Flip Gordon, Malachi Black and Jay Lethal, Flip Gordon and JT Dunn, Casey Navarro and Flip Gordon, Christopher Daniels and Malachi Black, Cam Club, and Waves and Curls. These are some of the matches that didn't make the list, that were 3.5 star matches. But the ones that did make the list, the first 4 came from Northeast Wrestling and Independent Wrestling Cartel, IWC Superstar Showdown 2 on April 30th. We had Matt Taven versus Anthony Young versus Flip Gordon. Matt Taven got the victory, 3.5. The Northeast World Heavyweight Championship champion Dan Moff versus Spencer Blade. Dan Moff getting the victory, 3.5 star. And the IWC World Tag Team Champions. Again, this show is from April 30th. We had champions TME, Duke Davis, and Gannon Jones Jr. taking on the one, the only, the Hardys, Jeff and Matt Hardy, who got the victory. 3.5 star match. Now, from number 19 on the list came from Superstar Showdown 3, which was July 31st. We had Penta Oscuro versus Zach Nystrom. Penta Oscuro got the victory. I gave it 3.5. Number 18 comes from the Big Bethany Bash on June 11th. For the tag titles, we had champions Waves and Curls, Jaden Braden and Trayvon Jordan versus Brick City Boys, Jay Cruz and Victor Chase versus Battle Academy, Chris Battle and Hunter Tarka versus the Miracle Generation, Dustin Waller and Kylan King. Waves and Curls retain their tag titles in that 3.5 star match. Next up from Destiny, August 13th, Northeast Wrestling World Heavyweight Title champion Dan Maff versus Jake Manning, the Man Scout. Dan Maff retaining his title, 3.5 star match. Next up from Flipping Out on May 7th, 6-man tag, Jay Lethal teaming up with Waves and Curls versus the Brick City Boys, Jay Cruz and Victor Chase, versus with Channing Thomas, Jay Lethal and Waves and Curls getting the victory. From Heat Wave, Northeast Wrestling World Heavyweight Title in a no disqualification match, Dan Maff champion versus Brian Anthony, Dan Maff getting the victory. And then Over the Top on January 21st, we had a battle royal, 20-man battle royal with Brian Anthony won. I gave it 3.5, and then we had a ladder match for the number 1 contender for the tag titles. We had Waves and Curls versus Insanely Rude, RJ Rude and Zane Bernardo. Waves and Curls got the victory there, 3.5 star. Number 12 came from Holiday Havoc, December 17th. World Heavyweight title on the line in a triple threat match. Flip Gordon versus Matt Taven versus JT Dunn. Matt Taven at that time became World Heavyweight Champion. 3.5 star match. The show without a name comes from the next two on October 15th. We had Brad Hallister and JT Dunn versus the Burke City Boys, Jay Cruz, Victor Chase versus the Battle Academy, Chris Battle and Hunter Tarka. Brad Hallister and JT Dunn got the victory. And then for the Northeast Wrestling World Heavyweight title, we had Trayvon Jordan and champion Dan Maff. Trayvon Jordan getting the victory, 3.5 star. From the Trend, October 17th, we had Flip Gordon and Matt Taven. Matt Taven got the victory. That is the last 3.5 star match. The next one began the 3 3/4 star. We had IWC Super Indie Championship on the line in the street fight. On the Superstar Showdown 2 on April 30th, Derek Dillinger getting the victory over Dirty Dango, 3 3/4 star. At Destiny on August 13th, in a Northeast Wrestling Live Championship on the line, champion JT Dunn versus KC Navarro. KC Navarro got the championship in the 3 3/4 star match. That was the rematch to Flippin' Out on May 7th. Northeast Wrestling Live champion JT Dunn taking on KC Navarro, and JT Dunn retained also in a 3 3/4 star match. And then from Spring Slam number 5 on the list, April 23rd, the Hardys, Matt and Jeff Hardy versus Flip Gordon and Johnny Northeast, John Morrison. And the Hardys get the victory there, 3 3/4 star match. From WrestleFest, January 22nd, Penta El Zero Miedo versus Bandito versus Flip Gordon. Penta get the victory, Penta El Zero Miedo, in the 3 3/4 star match. From Zero Fear on July 24th, or the next two, we had the Northeast Wrestling Live Championship in the Fatal 4-Way. Champion JT Dunn versus Alec Price versus Flip Gordon versus KC Navarro. Champion JT Dunn got the victory. And then also from the same show, Matt Taven versus Penta Ascaro, which Penta El Zero Miedo, Penta Ascaro, Pentagon Dark, Pentagon Jr., those are all the same guy. The guy from AEW. Matt Taven got the victory there, 3 3/4 star. What I thought was the best match for Northeast Wrestling in 2022 came from Flippin' Out on May 7th. The Northeast Wrestling World Heavyweight title on the line, champion Dan Maff versus Flip Gordon. In his own show, Flippin' Out, Flip Gordon took on Dan Maff. 4-star match with Dan Maff retaining his in Northeast Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship. Alright, we are closing in on the end of the showcase of the independents. As always, thanks for watching the Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day, have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.